everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 564. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ron Mass.
And I am Ari Rockefeller.
And if you notice, there's a slight change tonight. Mako-chan is not joining us tonight. She has the night off. And if you notice, normally we would have Wild Spice with us, but she too has the night off. And there's only one reason why both of them would have the night off. I mean, there are a variety of reasons, but the main reason is that me and Ari here, we went to a convention over the weekend, another Anime Con 2022, and since they didn't go, there was no point in having them on the show, except maybe Mako with a snide comment here and there, but maybe we should save that up for next week,
Possibly.
Yeah, and if you look at our chat there, she goes, "And I'm Mako-chan." It's like the stovetop commercial, and I helped. That's some good water. Anywho, so Ari, how are you doing tonight?
I feel like shit.
That was me this morning. I got enough sleep, but I still overslept on my alarms. I was like, fuck, but still made it work.
Yeah, that's been me since I woke up Monday morning.
Oof. Hopefully you'll feel better soon, man.
Good thing I found some lemon ginger tea in the cupboard.
Oh, that's good.
Poured myself a cup before the show started.
I think when I first moved into this place, my old roommate had tea in the cupboard, and I had taken that because she didn't take it with her, and it was like this expensive, fancy ass tea. I don't know. I think she paid a lot of money for it and left it behind. The same can be said about the 15-year-old bottle of Glenfiddich that she left behind too. So I ended up throwing that tea out because the tea container that I had it in started to rust, and I realized I don't really drink a lot of tea. I have a box of green tea. I was going to make lemon flavored green tea in my Instant Pot and just kind of keep it in the fridge, but I never got around to doing that. I should. But anywho, enough about that. We are live tonight, week of October 18, 2022, right here on Twitch TV. You'll always find us here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You can always find us here at Twitch TV /Anime Jam Session. I've said it before that I was going to bring back another show. I've just been sidetracked with some other stuff, so I'm hoping by January I can kind of focus and kind of kickstart that going. So, we are also part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com. You can find them at Twitch TV /VOG Network. They kick off their shows on Sundays at 8 p.m., starting with the Bobby Blackwolf Show at 8, followed by Orange Lounge Radio at 9. And don't forget to come by our Discord at vognetwork.com /Discord. Every show that's a part of the Voice of Geeks Network has a channel, so come through, hang out, and say hi. So, And now that we got that out the way, I'm going to kick it over to Ari as he tells us about his week and day. Ari.
Well, like you said, it was, the weekend was dominated by going up to AAC, and I still had to do the 3 days of work at the beginning of the week, which wasn't that big of a deal.
That's good.
But I don't know. Maybe I caught some kind of crud from being up there or something. Because Monday and yesterday and today, I just felt like utter crap.
It could be actual con crud, but also sometimes when you travel north or south, there's a temperature differentiate, and your body doesn't get properly accumulated to that. So that's happened to me a couple times.
Yeah, but it was the worst today because I was just barely functioning, and I even set an alarm for 9 p.m. because I was because what I thought was going to happen was I'm just going to fall asleep, like not off for at like 2 or something, and just maybe wake up in time to get to the show.
No, I
Because I
totally
wanted to
get
talk
that.
about AAC, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see here. All right, let's get that out the way. So, my weekend day was more or less the same. Yeah, working 3 days, before the con, and it actually felt good that I didn't have to work like a half day or having to like catch, have Ari pick me up after work or catch a train up after. That kind of felt good. I mean, granted, most cons on a third I travel out on a Thursday. I don't have to work anymore. But there are those days where I had to work a half shift just so I could kind of continue to save some type of time off or something like that. But oddly enough, I did bring my work phone with me just in case. But it wasn't bad. It was no issues or anything like that. Thankfully. Um, and we're going to talk about AAC later in the episode. But overall, my week was pretty decent. I really can't complain. Oh, I suppose I could talk about the one thing that happened at work today.
What was it?
I met George Takei.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been sitting on this for about a week now. Normally, I don't talk about my job and what I do because I strongly believe, there's a time and place for everything. There's no need to talk about your job, on the show unless you can make it very generic as possible. That way, if you say something outlandish, nobody can try to trace it back, and get you in a load of trouble. So what happened was, one of the users reached out to me about podcasting and recording, and I think that's because somebody else on the floor knows that I do this. So they reached out to me asking, for some assistance with it, and I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll gladly help. Send over the equipment. Why not?" Now, after I explained, I gladly do it. That's when they told me it was for George Takei, and I'm just like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. So I had to make sure this was perfect. The setup had to exceed my expectations, how I do my show. So basically, the equipment came in, and I tested it, and it was fine. I go down to the conference room, set everything up, perfect. Start doing test recordings, perfect. So we talked briefly, and what was cool was, if you remember from earlier this year, George Takei was the Grand Marshal of the first annual Japan Day Parade in New York City. And I stood it and I recorded it. I recorded him coming down in the convertible. And I also did the Vulcan Live Long and Prosper. And as I was standing there doing it, I looked around. I was the only person. And he saw it and he did it back. And I told him that was me. I was the kid. And I brought a copy of the video and I showed him and I showed his husband, Brad. And they were elated by it. So I thought, well, it was really good. So it kind of came full circle to me. So basically for about 2.5 hours, I was in the room, watching and making sure that everything was fine. No problems, no errors. And that was it. And we talked briefly hours afterwards. And I got a picture. I kind of wanted a picture with him and his husband, Brad, because I think Brad's pretty cool, but it didn't happen that way. But I got his picture, and I have to learn how to smile a little bit more. But I'm standing there trying to be professional, and I'm just trying not to bust a gut because I was so excited and nervous and elated all at the same time. I just think this was just blind luck that this just dropped in my lap, so. Anywho, enough about that. Let's get into some housekeeping notes here, shall we?
Sure.
The surface is actually behaving. A slight tap this time and it actually goes up. I don't have to press hard against it. So, Don't forget, episodes of Anime Jam Session are available on our YouTube page Thursdays at 12 p.m. noon. This is perfect if you want to see episodes older than 2 weeks. That's available on Twitch. So you want to see a few episodes going back a few months, you can definitely check it out there. That's youtube.com/anime jam session. Click on playlists and you'll see podcast VODs. Episodes are right there. I might have to start a new playlist to start breaking them down by year, so it might make things a little bit easier. So, also we have 2 more conventions left for the year. DerbyCon, October 20th to the 30th, East Brunswick, New Jersey, and Anime NYC, October 18th to the 20th, Jacob K. Javits Center, New York City. And just for those of you that I met at AAC who are participating, who are listening, I am working on the photos and the videos. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get it all together. So bear with me. And if you reach out, I will gladly send you copies of your photos. It's my thing and it's what I do. So now that we got that out the way, we're going to get into a Geek Roundtable. This is the part of the show where we talk more about the geekier aspects of our lives. So, what you got this week for a Geek Roundtable, Ari?
Pardon me.
Careful.
Well, it's relevant to, what we did go into AAC, but I want to show off this.
Oh,
it's
that's
a pair of
nice.
headphones. I didn't actually buy anything at the dealer's room. Hell, I didn't even go into the dealer's room. But I did acquire these, and I will gladly tell you the story of how that happened, but it's what they look like. Let me
That's
turn
nice.
one real quick. What button is this one? I'm not sure how much you can see right there.
I can see it, yeah.
They have USB-C hookups, a little slot for a memory card, and well, I'm not sure. Like, they do have Bluetooth, but they also have this little a headphone jack cable.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is like the smallest charging cable I've ever seen in my life.
Is the other side USB-C?
Oh, never mind. It's USB-A, I think.
No, is it?
What is that?
Okay, that looks to be if it's round ovalish.
It's flat like a trapezoidal.
Yeah, that's micro USB.
That's the one.
So you can get any micro USB cable to charge it.
Mm-hmm. Also, while I was looking it up, I was going over the instructions.
Yeah.
Well, I just got to the point where I was saying, it's Chinese one, but and the translation is so bad. I'm just like, there wasn't a word of English on here anywhere.
Honestly, a lot of the stuff that I buy on Amazon, it's like that. Like when I pick up like third-party chargers and battery packs and cables and stuff, it happens. So Which reminds me, the battery, the portable charger I bought, I'm gonna have to ship that back, but I gotta go through their support because I paid like $45 for it. They want to give me $35 back as a credit. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not gonna fly.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So what about you? What you got?
Well, I will show off one of my purchases from AAC in just a bit because it's very interesting. But I started on the fall anime 22 season. No, I am not watching Bleach. I could care less about Bleach. I'm continuing with Spy Family. Wrapped up Love Live Superstar Season 2. Let's see, what else is it? I started Akiba Maid War, which is really good. There's one called Love Flops, which I've started. And there's a couple more that's starting up. But now I'm in the process of like finishing up my summer anime titles, like a couple of Cuckoos. There's a couple of others. It's on my list. And what's funny is I got to go through that to make sure that I've caught up with all of that stuff. So, But as with any anime convention, I did a little bit of shopping. It didn't help the fact that the weekend of the con, my paycheck rolled in via direct deposit. I bought some pins, which I may show them off at a later date, but they're sitting back there. Um, got some keychains there for a couple friends, and they're being shipped. They're being mailed out this week. Got a plushie for a friend of mine because she has been in the best of moods lately, so it'll give her some instant serotonin. And then I did see a Q-Posket Princess Sailor Venus figure, but then I realized I pre-ordered it. And and here's the thing. Don't you just hate when you pre-ordered an item from like Otaku Mode, Ami, JList, any of those sites? And then like a month or so later, you go to a con and you see the figurine that you pre-ordered sitting up there. And it's double the price that you pre-ordered it at. But when you think about it, you realize there was no point in buying it right then and there because, yes, it was like cheaper online, but after the tax and shipping, it came out about the same price. It's not like you got it off of Amazon. No, but other sites, But I did get my hands on this. And Christmas time Ray from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
You mean Asuka?
What did I say, Ray?
Yeah.
Damn it, I meant to say Asuka. My bad. Ray was in the green box, oddly enough. And you want to know something? This figurine was on my list for a little bit, but then I took it off because I thought I would never get my hands on it, so I wasn't too worried about it. So I paid $35 for this. This is brand spanking new, still sealed in its box. And I go ahead and I post this on the, well, retail price on the back here says 1,200 yen, but but whatever. I still say I got a good deal. So I go on to the Tiffany Grant fan club page. I post a picture of it, and Tiffany Grant responds that she has this figurine, and it's 20 years old. And I was just like, holy crap. So technically, this is the oldest figurine in my collection. And the second oldest is Masumi from Love Hina. Not counting the Venus plushies I've picked up along, plushie dolls I've picked up along my travels, but figurines like that, yeah. Wow, I'm just okay. I was just like, wow. Okay. Let's see what do we have here.
I'm starting to feel better already.
That's good. That's good. A little bit of tea and honey and a shot of vodka will do you good. Now we're going to get into the part of the show y'all really want to stick around, you were here for. We're going to talk about AAC 2022.
Yeah,
now,
it was a pretty fun weekend.
It was. Now, as it has always been told to me, AAC is formed and run by former Anime Boston staffers. Whether they're disgruntled, I don't know, but I do enjoy the heck out of this con. So we're going to break it down basically day by day and then give our final thoughts. And we have some news articles here, and we will go over them if we have time. So basically, let's kick things off with Thursday. Thursday wasn't too much. It was mostly the drive up to the convention. So, and
yeah, I got there a little later than I would have liked, mostly because I ran into some, normal issues at home. Getting everything together.
Yeah.
After I got the alcohol and started up on the road, I looked at myself in the mirror like, I forgot my goddamn pills. And it was way too far to, go run back and get them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't life-threatening or anything. It was just, I had to deal with elevated blood pressure and friggin' ankles and feet that were as thick as my own head.
I get you. You showing up late worked for me because I overslept by a few minutes because I had a doctor's appointment that morning where they had to take 3 vials of my blood to check for cholesterol and other things, and I'll find out about that later this week. But
I
he,
was telling you that there was a halal, there was a halal wagon, on one of the, I guess one of the little infields, was it? But
mm-hmm,
yeah, there was a halal joint, on the on the side of the road coming up the parkway.
gotcha. Yeah, and also the fact is that you showing up late allowed me to actually get back home in time, have breakfast, and actually go to the post office and mail off some stuff.
Okay.
So in a way, it worked out. But everybody kind of knows when it comes to cons, I like to get there before a certain time. Like, I like to get there by 2 or 3 o'clock. But sometimes it's just not possible. So, it is what it is.
Of course, it didn't help that the traffic going up, getting out of the city, was a little
Rough.
messy.
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as last year. We passed, 3 car accidents?
Including one that was flipped over.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was a much more uneventful trip going up, all things considered.
Gotcha.
It was in the same place it was last year as well.
Mm-hmm. I like the place where it was in. I think it was in Lowell a couple of years back. I kind of like that when it was in September. I kind of like that location too.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm starting to the place it's at now. It's starting to grow on me.
I like
it looks nice and refined and classy, and
yeah, it is, and I like the fact
and
that
here we are, a bunch of fucking nerds showing up to crash the place.
well, now hold on. Now, this is something I see constantly in the Magfest 21 groups, and we're gonna swerve for a bit. I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of times after anime cons, we see people posting pictures of the damage and all that's been done because a lot of anime con goers act like they have no home training whatsoever. But if you go to a comic con or a video game con or something like that, you won't really see that. And some will say it's because of the age gap and difference. It is, but at the same time, it's not. You generally have the same age, variety of ages going to all conventions. It's just some people know better, But we'll get and now we'll get things back on track here, as you were.
But yeah, they don't But as you probably noticed, I was in a lot of pain for most of the weekend walking around. So, and the fact that they put us pretty much at the ass end of the hallway on the floor we were at, I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be a fun weekend.
Dude, you should have said something. I would have asked about them putting us a little bit closer.
I kind of figured they probably wouldn't have, but
it doesn't hurt to ask,
But nonetheless, it was. Pardon me. The room was pretty nice.
Yeah, it
well.
was. And one thing about this hotel, we actually had a pull-out couch, so that was great. Most hotels, if you get a king size, you might get a rollaway, but at least the pull-out was big enough to fit 2 people, so that was good.
Yeah, I was like, because I didn't see it before I came in. Like, wait, there's 3 of us in here. How are we gonna fit? And then I saw the couch full. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, the bed kind of it was kind of weird because the bed was comfy and all, but I don't know, 10 minutes in before even trying to get settled, I just started sweating like a dog. And most of the night, the covers were off of me.
Mm-hmm. It was probably due to the air conditioning, maybe.
Yeah, that's the thing. The AC made me feel a little better. The only problem was, went under the covers, I was still sweaty. So
Gotcha.
that's probably contributing to what I'm like now.
Probably so. What that happens, yeah.
But yeah, we ended up.
So basically, Thursday we went. Normally, what we do on Thursdays, we will stop at a Walmart and pick up groceries and head right over to the con. Now, because there is a market basket right by the hotel, figured we go in, unload our gear, then make our way over there, which is what we did. And then we had to do another trip to CVS after because, number one, the market basket didn't have disposable plastic spoons and stuff. I mean, they did, but it was like the fancy spoons and forks where you get like enough for like one night for 4 people for $5, and we couldn't find them in the bulk. So we found them at a CVS. They're biodegradable or something like that, and also a pack of AAA batteries because I went out and did the smart thing and got a universal remote.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the only thing I could do with said remote was turn it on and turn it off. But
thankfully, though,
yeah,
there was we could access the inputs through a kind of a backdoorish method.
Yeah, on those commander remotes, you hit the function, go down to maneuver the last setting. You can go through the different inputs. Because I've seen this TV at another hotel, and there's a button you press, and you can navigate through the settings. In this case, this TV, the button just was power, and that was it. So So what we did was we also picked up dinner while we were at it. There was a really nice poke bowl place right there, so we got poke bowls. Went back to the room, ate, and basically relaxed. We picked up our badges. I walked around, caught up with some friends, and was like just gonna kick back, relax, and just see how the rest of the night goes. And then that brings us over to Friday. So Ari, tell us about your Friday, man.
Got up a little bit earlier. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that I saw that they had a breakfast buffet. I figured, check that out. But I did manage to hit up the pool that was there.
Okay.
It was okay, but a lot of people were just it was like other people just swimming, doing laps. Nothing too major. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hoping that we'd see like a dozen or Congos that are just having fun and whatnot. Like most of the people there, I don't even think they knew about the convention at all.
Well, most of the people at the convention were for the con. But what was cool was
At the hotel.
yeah, everyone at the hotel was for the con. But what was cool was the night before we were at the market basket, the guy that bagged our groceries is an anime fan who said he was going to come check the convention out.
Yeah. I told him it's been here the past 2 years, so it's likely they'll be here again. So be sure to swing by. But yeah, from what I understood about the buffet is that it closed at 10 o'clock. So I ended up getting there like 5 minutes before.
Mm-hmm.
So and there was just the remaining scraps, or not scraps, but the rest of the stuff that was in the they're gonna throw it away, I think is the best way to put it. But the only
I wouldn't say that now.
But nonetheless, it had closed by the time I actually sat down to eat, and then other people had seen me sitting down and eating, and they too thought that it was open. It was still open,
right?
And they had to tell people no, we're not actually open. And there's like a bunch of people doing this. So oh boy, I started some shit and I didn't mean to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was good. There was stuff like they also had little mini waffles.
Yeah, I've seen those.
They're like this big, and our roommate, was it Robin? Was it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We can just
She
call
thought
her
they were
Fluffy
adorable.
Burb.
Huh?
You can call her Fluffy Burb.
Fluffy Burb.
Yep.
Yeah, she thought that was fun.
See, I actually cracked open a bowl of cereal for that because I was like, I can't justify spending $15 on a buffet. But then again, I spend $12 every Friday on a breakfast sandwich and coffee. So
I think a different restaurant in there had it for like $25 or $30 last year, so this is a huge improvement.
yeah, bring the price down and more people will show up.
Hmm. That's how the day started. Yeah.
All right. So what all did you do? What panels did you check out?
um, I managed to put them on the calendar for that weekend.
Yeah, I've slowly been doing that.
Pardon me. Hmm?
I've been doing that. Like kind of like if I have photo shoots, what I put on the calendar, events I put on the calendar, so at least I would know what's coming up.
One of my first panel was at 3 o'clock, so I spent a lot of the time before that just checking out the sites, playing in the game room for a while.
Yeah.
The first one it was it was hand sewing techniques for beginners, and first thing is they gave you these little baggies with the materials you need, the bobbin, some thread,
Mm-hmm.
some needles, and they would teach you what to do with them. And I went in for this because, like they said, it's for your cosplay, but I just needed to to actually like learn how to keep my pants from falling apart at the seams if they get ripped, and
Yep.
not have to waste all the money going to a tailor.
And in our chat room at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session, we have Barry Mellon going, "Wee sewing. I have been summoned."
Yeah, she just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, see, it's interesting that you say that. I have to buy a new iron and get iron on fabric for my pants so I can kind of fix the tears in those.
But they weren't like the people running it while they were teaching people how to do the stitches were pretty impressed with what I was doing. So
That's good.
they gave it a little like what's another good one? Oh yeah, this like good thing they let us keep everything. What's the stitch I was looking about? Pardon me. They taught basing stitch, running stitch, the back stitch, which she said she was especially appreciative of. Can you see the thread there?
Not necessarily. No, wait. That's what I saw it. Yeah. I saw it. All right. For those of you who are listening, Ari is showing up the fabric he's sewn, and you can see the red thread on the pattern
fabric. But
okay,
you can only barely see it.
all right, pink thread on the patterned fabric.
And even a lot of the other people there, like for the panel, just to learn, there were everyone was. It's kind of hard to talk. Everyone was helping each other out and being encouraging and all that good stuff. So it was very informative and very I guess helped build up my confidence when the time would come for me to fix my own pants again.
Right. Now I get that.
There was some. Oh, all you have to do to summon Barry is leave a needle thread in a huge sewing machine with a drop of blood.
Yep, with a drop of blood.
Hi, Ichigo. Glad you can make it.
She goes by Barry now, not Ichigo.
Sorry. Hello, Barry. Glad you can make it. Let's see. Where's my... where is it? And then I went to an anime-themed bingo, which... if you remember from my pictures in our private Discord chat, I was doing very poorly on.
Yeah, I saw.
But it was, basic gaming, like basic prize stuff. And then mostly I was waiting around to shoot the Whose Line Is It Anyway 18 Plus edition
Right. Mm-hmm.
at 7:00.
How was that panel? Tell us a bit about that.
I will, but in the interim, I was
All right.
just waiting around to. I found another panel called "Show Tucker Did Nothing Wrong."
Yeah, I popped in on that, and I saw like the moderator talking about the FDA rules and regulations starting around the 1960s.
Yeah, like turn of the 20th century stuff. That's when things, like when the FDA was created and food safety was actually, a growing concern. And you probably remember Upton Sinclair's The Jungle.
Yes,
regard.
I do. Yep.
But yeah, like his argument was, someone had to be the first to, figure these things out and, experiment on them as well, both in the world of FMA and out in the real world as well. But the fact that he named, like, I'm fairly certain he knew that because he named his panel after an FMA shitpost or a meme, he knew that was going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah, sometimes the right phrase will get butts in seats.
Yeah, because Show Tucker's right up there with fucking Gendo in terms of bad dads.
Yeah, you could throw Genma Saotome in there too.
But yeah, after that, the Whose Line Is It Anyway 18 Plus was pretty fun as well. And but it wasn't as soul killing as the cosplay dating game.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in just a bit. So, what was going on in whose anime is it anyway?
It was very faithful to the to the original version, just the anime themed stuff.
Okay. Was there anything that kind of pops off in your head,
Crap, I am drawing a huge blank on that night. But I will say that the actual Whose Line game, where they have to pull out little piece of paper with lines on them that they have to work into it. But like one of the like two of the guys are arguing, and one of them pulled out the line. It said, "Sir," and the paper was, "Sir, this is a Wendy's." And that just seemed so thematically appropriate. But yeah, a lot of souls were broken. A lot of, like twisted laughter. All that good stuff. If I sit down to write about it, I'll probably have a better idea of what I saw. But
well, that's good.
And then came the 18 plus dating game panel. Like I wasn't gonna go for it, but you told me to go and film it.
Yeah, and I popped in and I went to it right after my panel.
Yeah, and now I could be perfectly on board with, guys hooking up with guys and girls hooking up with girls, whatever. But oh my god, these people just decided to go way over the fucking top.
It's like, fuck it, we're already here.
A lot of it had to do with the charisma of the people on stage.
Yes, especially
the Doug Dimmadome cosplayer.
Not even a Doug Dimmadome cosplayer, the Maximilian Pegasus cosplayer, who
decided to dress up like a maid for.
He showed up in Pegasus and stripped out of it into a maid uniform.
Yeah.
I was pretty blatant about wanting to get railed.
By Kratos.
And I have to say, I've gone to a lot of 18 plus dating games. This is the first time I felt thoroughly violated as an audience member. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just thoroughly amused.
Yeah.
And to that, I want to say thank you to the host, Shizuku Tan. I don't know that cosplayer, but she always hosts the 18 plus and the death matches, so kudos to her. And to AAC for allowing this. Please do it again next year.
Yeah, just imagine, like, what's your favorite type, like, what's your favorite hair color, woman? And then I, as Ash, and another guy, Kess, was Ron Stopple, just simultaneously blurt out, redheads! And we just silently fist bump one another.
Not wrong, though.
Oh, yeah. That's good. So how was Friday for you?
All right, Friday was so-so. I mean, so here's the thing. As you all know, I basically do the photography. So I don't get a chance to attend as many panels as I want to. I can tell you this about AAC. They spread the panels out throughout the day. So there's nothing going back to back. I mean, honestly, I think we're at a point where conventions need not to have back-to-back panels. Have a panel from 1 to 2. Clear out the room. Relax. Have another panel at 2:15 or 2:30 to 3:30. Do it like that. Because let's be real. There are some people who... I've been to enough cons where over the entire course of the weekend, the same panel is being held 5 times over the weekend. But it's being run by different moderators, and these moderators run it differently to make it slightly different from everybody else's panel. Please stop.
There's not as much variety as you'd think, right?
Right, yes. What I like about AAC is they have a lot of panels, but they're spread out over the weekend, so there's no fear of missing anything. I felt like, while I was walking around taking cosplay photos, I can actually stop, have a breather, talk to people, go sit down and enjoy a panel, and not worry that I am missing taking photos or anything like that. Now, Friday night, I did a panel called So You Want a Podcast and Twitch Stream. So, and I'm probably going to be changing the title of that soon. Basically, this panel is learning the basics of hardware and software and why you want a Twitch stream. Yeah, you can always watch panels about how to create your your panels, how to do your Twitch streams, or how to create the scenes and all of that, but some of you don't know how to do it in the aspect of what hardware you need. And that's what this panel does. Yes, and there are videos on YouTube where it tells you how to, but this is more of a complete breakdown where you can understand what's going on. And this is the second time I've run it, and I didn't expect a lot of people to show up, and it's quite all right. As long as they were there from start to finish, or start for the most of it, they learned a thing or two, or educated themselves. And that's all that really matters to me. And I really enjoyed that. Now, as I said, I stopped in on the 18 plus cosplay dating game, and it was out there. Just wait until you see the video. I might have to put up a warning before the video. Viewer discretion is advised. I might just slap a mature rating on it, and this is the first time I've ever had to do that for a video.
Yeah, you missed the first round, which was all females, and a lot of people talking about tits.
Of course. But the last two panels were basically guy panels, and it was just It was fun, but it was just the final panel with the final one with Pegasus, where it was just outlandish. It's all fuck all. Overall, the panel, I give that panel an 11 out of 10. A 12 out of 10. It was really out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're going to get into Saturday. Ari, tell us about your Saturday.
Let me double check the schedule here.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday was fun. I ended up getting up a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, mostly to get to breakfast. A good breakfast to me.
Yeah.
But my first panel was actually at
Careful.
11:30, which was the bad summary game.
Yeah.
And as good as we were, as good as everyone in the audience was, picking them off, he realized that, yeah, we're going to have to, I'm going to have to make some more of these next time. But, it's pretty much what you thought it was. Explain an anime plot badly. And once he got through all of them, we were all just, firing off ones of our own about other animes and whatnot. And, it was okay. The one after that was Sword Lesbians in Anime.
Mm-hmm.
Which wasn't strictly about, those three words to get, the four words together in that order. It was...
Right.
It was about things like how the character archetype had built over the years, and how inspiration comes from an all-female theater troupe.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is the male parts. The primarily male parts go into the getting top billing.
Right.
The girl who's like tall, short hair, that sort of thing. You can see the inspiration, in other works, especially like Sailor Moon.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a couple references to it that you probably wouldn't get if you didn't understand it, so it'd probably just go over your head. But the fact that Usagi actually pulls out a one of those theater magazines and that goes around oh, if that's the case, then why is this under your bed? Yeah. And after that, the one I was waiting for was the Press Your Luck panel.
Yes, yes.
And I got lucky because the guy who had who was looking for contestants saw me up because we both had Magic memorabilia on us.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my opponents was the Doug DeMillion cosplayer as somebody else. He was from Fairly Odd Parents. I forget the guy, the big buff fairy.
Jorgen, yeah,
that's it. And not just my game, but the one after that were just incredibly, tense, especially in the second round. And I was doing really good until I got up to 55 grand and then hit a whammy.
Yeah.
And I managed to build myself back up. Now, the people who run it, they were which is where I got these headphones from. They were for every 20,000 you win, you get a prize from our company's accessories and whatnot.
Right.
But if you got 250,000 or more and won, you got free VIP tickets to next year's AAC.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah.
Nobody got either of that. Got either of those places.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of drama to be held, especially in the second round because they were doing the one spin ping pong back and forth to one another.
Yeah. One the Sophia cosplayer is a friend of mine. The Sophie cosplayer is a friend of mine, and I was hoping my battle plan would have been I would have gone up and I would have gone until I had like 5 spins left because I would have built like a high enough money over everybody else and pass it and be like, good luck catching up, motherfucker.
Uh, I was pretty much just like I have to keep fate in my own hands. I can't, hope that they whammy out on me or they
Yeah,
don't get it.
but you did good though, didn't
Yeah.
you? Yeah, you end up winning, didn't you?
Yeah.
There you go.
And like the host was telling me like this is like the most dramatic it's been in like a long time, which that felt good hearing that from the host. It's certainly a lot better than the "this is where my comeback begins" incident that I had.
Yeah.
I probably you know about that, right?
Refresh my mind.
I went into the third round, like into the second spin round with 10 spins and 3 whammies.
Yeah.
I got this like a long time ago. Like I think at one of like New York Comic Cons or something like that.
Right, right.
Yeah, I got booed when I passed my spins after getting the third whammy.
Yeah.
But I shouted, "This is where my comeback begins," and then immediately whammied out.
Yeah.
And, like the buzzer was still hanging in the air by the time I just jumped out of my seat and left.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember because you were there and you were cosplaying as Luigi, and you're like it's like, hey, like you want to come out and act out the parts of this as a whammy as you can, and you're like, oh boy, coins, like oh.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I didn't want to just openly hope that everyone else would just fail and suck. That's not really sporting. But I was glad that everyone had fun and it was still competitive to the end.
That's good because I'm watching in the back. I'm like, come on, and then, when she whammied out, I was like, I just fell over. I was like, holy crap, But I mean, as a longtime fan of Pressure Luck, watching it on TV, and watching it at panels, this is the first time I've gotten like vested into it. I was just like, wow.
Yeah, it's a BBE game shows.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to find their Twitter page or whatnot because apparently Google has an aneurysm when you put in their their name or whatever. But that was like I got done all the panels I wanted to do fairly early in the day. Like I was just too burnt out from walking around, so I just decided like, I can just play games or hang out in the room for a while.
Fair.
And then when we got dinner, it didn't go as well as we thought.
No, it did not. So we ordered from Flavortown Kitchen. Yes, Guy Fieri, Flavortown Kitchen. Long story short, we did not get all of our food and ended up getting a refund on some of it. So.
And this food was mediocre at best.
Yeah, it was.
As much as we like Guy Fieri as a person, his restaurants and his brand are just, ugh.
Well, I always said I wanted to check out his Chicken Guy restaurants, but closest to that was the chicken from the Flavortown Kitchen, because it came. I think the pickles came in a chicken. No, sandwich came in a Chicken Guy box. So And on a side note, I just want to say that the New York Yankees have advanced. They have knocked out the Cleveland Guardians 5-1. So. Like I said, there's no way in hell the Yankees will get beat by a bunch of bumpkins from Ohio.
Okay. Yeah, but now nobody's gonna want to cheer for the AL because it'll be either New York or Houston.
I'm rooting for New York Phillies as a rematch.
Yeah, my bracket was doing fine until the Mariners got wasted.
Whoops.
What about you? How'd your Saturday go?
All right, mine went pretty well. I, outside of photography, one of the things that I did do was idol showcase, and what sucked it was right. It was right as cosplay deathmatch. And as you know, if you follow our YouTube page, you will find videos of the last 2 or 3 cosplay death matches up there. You will not find it this year because I went to the idol showcase instead. And basically, the idol showcase is comprised of Love Live groups as a full group or partial subgroup or solo artist going on stage singing and dancing a Love Live song. And that's basic for the bulk of it, but it could be from AKB48, I think Idoli Pride, Shine Post, any idol anime, and that was good. It ran over by 15 minutes. If I'm now in the guide here, it's supposed to go from 11:30 to 12:30. I think it went closer to 1 or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head. I do know it was running into the next panel, but there was like a free time in between the two, so I don't know. But I really enjoyed it. The photography I got from it was really good. The performers were great. And this was hosted by the local group out of New England, I believe is Sora Idols, which I do have to reach out to them so that I can get the list of the songs and the art and the group so I can properly credit it on the video. So like I said, I stopped in on the Press Your Luck game show panel, which was really fun. Maybe next year I'll jump up there and compete.
You just gotta get lucky and hope you get picked.
True. And I was actually talking to the guy who runs that, and we were talking about rebooting game shows and stuff like that, and like and game shows you could run at conventions. I would like to see Password. I think you could get away with doing Password.
It's been done in some forms.
Yeah, but I've never watched it at a con. But after watching Password on Peacock, which I'm a couple episodes behind, I can just envision in my head how to pull it off. You know,
which one?
Classic Password.
Yeah, because there's been a 4 series of it.
No, yeah, I know. There's Password, Password Plus, Super Password, and $1 Million Password.
It's apparently it's been revived for 2022.
Yeah, it's on Peacock. I've been watching it.
Oh yeah, it's Password, Password Plus, Super Password, and like I legit did not know that.
Yes. Now after that, I stopped in for the Q&A voice acting panel with Amanda Gish, Barry Yandel, and Major Attaway. It was basically you just fire questions at them and they would answer. It was a pretty fun panel. My only issue was, there wasn't enough people asking questions because there we go. It was not enough people in the room, which kind of sucks because of the pandemic, numbers are down. So normally a QA voice acting panel, you'd have at least 100 people in there. There was at least maybe 25, 30.
Mm-hmm.
Which that panel has been recorded and it will be up on our YouTube page soon. And then I did more cosplay photography, hung out with more people, and I went over to the AAC 2022 Masquerade. It was all right. It was good. It wasn't. It kind of felt. It kind of was. It felt kind of lackluster this year. One thing they did differently, it wasn't not just anime skits. It was like non-anime skits rolled in there too, like mixed media content. What AAC normally does is they would do all the anime skits and routines, and then they would have the mixed media content and do that. It was all rolled into one. Didn't think it would actually take up the full 2 hours, but it did. It was good, but there was one skit that steps out in my mind. I believe it was a Hatsune Miku Vocaloid skit with two girls. Like they were like making cookies or baking something, and their mother, or I guess their parent or guardian, was a part of the skit, and she jumped up on as part of the skit, was on the stage too. I thought that was really fun. I thought that was really fun. Did you, just out of curiosity, did you head over to the It's Always Sunny panel?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I popped in on the cosplay unmentionables panel, and and when I walked in, it was 4 dudes with their pants down with paddles to smack their asses to answer a question. And, well, I didn't stick around for the full thing, but when I walked in, they had taken screenshots from mangas of a couple in precarious positions, sexual positions, and they would get volunteers from the audience to do the positions, and then you had to guess the name of the position from the multiple choice.
This is the worst game of charades I've ever heard.
I know, right? But it was still kind of cool. All right. Now, one thing I forgot to mention on my Friday, I stopped in on the zombie ball, and it was more like a It was more like a high school dance, and it was fun. And I just felt like I was stuck in a loop of DDR, because a lot of the music was from, it sounded like it came out of DDR. I do have recordings of everybody dancing and so forth. It was fun, especially when they did I think the conga line for Shake Shake Senora. So I kind of felt overdressed because I came in a full suit. I could have just shown up in slacks, shirt, and a tie. So I did get some photos. I got some video. That was fun. Now let's see. Sunday. I'll kick this off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I went over to the cosplay chest. I took some photos. It was kind of fun. It lasted about an hour because it was fully scripted. It was basically Pegasus versus Kratos. I just thought it was fun when I kept hearing him go, "Boy," especially when he was trying to tell Zenigats to go do something. And then later on, I did 2 interviews, one with Major Attaway and the other with Amanda Gish at 1:00. And unfortunately, it was at the same time as another panel called Darkness to Light, a voice actor battles surviving mental illness. I wish I was able to have time to catch that too. So, but we left around 2:00 and made it back home around decent time. It was a lot better than last year's time. Maybe next year I'll book the room into Monday or get a late checkout. Then we can just stay later and then just mosey on that when we're ready.
Yeah, we would have been home sooner, but we kept running into delay after delay after delay.
Right.
On the drive home, and that added 45 minutes to over an hour onto getting to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just it was just driving just like this. There was a 45-minute delay.
Yeah, I think wasn't when we were going. Yeah, and as we were going, didn't Google Maps give an alternate set of directions and it still put more time on?
It didn't put a whole lot more time on, but
no, not a lot.
It didn't. But it didn't. Cut off a half hour or something like that.
Right.
It was and again, we did not make it home before darkness, before dark.
Yeah. But we did get home an hour prior than in comparison to last year.
Yeah. Oh, also, I did end up, reheating the mac and cheese that we got from Mac and Chews.
Oh, that was so good. All right, there was a play. Now, my friend Michelle, uh, I was hanging out with her outside, and she had gotten this mac and cheese platter from a place called Mac and Chews, and she gave me the leftovers, and I ate it. I was like, "Oh, this is good." And that was what we were going to have for dinner, but they closed at 9, which is why we did Flavortown Kitchen instead. But we did get some on the way back. I ordered the mac and cheese pulled pork, like a medium tray, which I ate some on the ride home and the rest when I got home. And I also ordered the lobster mac and cheese. The lobster mac and cheese was a bit of hit or miss because it was like a quarter of the tray was like very little lobster, more mac and cheese, but it was like the rest of the tray was just like overloaded with it. I was like, wow. Whereas the pulled pork, which I want that again. It was really good. It was like every bite had pulled pork with the mac and cheese.
I ended up getting the buffalo chicken one, and it was very tasty.
Okay. Glad you enjoyed that. Now, overall, my opinion of AAC every year is usually about the same. If you want to go to a con where you don't really want to stress out about cosplay, you just want to go have a good time, enjoy some parties, and just do your thing, this is the con for it. You will see people pulling out their A game here, but it's not like in comparison to like Anime Boston or Otakon or Anime Next, which supposedly I heard they finally found a venue, or Anime NYC. It's like you'll see people in their A game best, but they'll probably be having a drink or something like that, and they'll tell you to sit down and join them. This is a fun convention. This is perfect for like if you just need a break in between cons where you're going to do all types of serious shit and you just kind of want to just relax and just kick back and just have fun with friends and family type scenario. This is the con for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting to look forward more and more to AAC every year.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, we'll definitely be back next year.
Any other thoughts about the con?
Well, let's just hope they don't change locations again.
Yeah, I mean, if they do, as long as they're like nearby food places, I'm quite alright with it.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, hopefully we feel that our review and discussion of AAC is cool enough for y'all to come check it out next year, because we'll definitely be back next year. And also, this is one of those hotels where there's an actual key to the hotel door.
Yeah, like an actual physical key and not a key card.
I'm actually thinking if the price is right, if it's reasonable enough, I'm going to see if maybe we'll book a suite for next year.
That would be nice, I think.
Yeah, because they had a suite for the room for the interviews, and it's really nice. And maybe Mako-chan can join us. She can actually cook in the suite. You know, that'd be kind of cool.
I'd love that too.
Some homemade lasagna or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. I think we can get through these articles real quick and then wrap up the show. So.
Mm-hmm. Would you mind taking the first one? I
go
gotta
on.
step away for a second.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Hold on. All right, so we're going to talk about Hunter x Hunter. We have been discussing this manga and the mangaka on this show off and on for years due to his health issues, and we talk about how he come back and do some stuff and then take another break. And currently, Hunter x Hunter has been on a 4-year hiatus, so it's coming back this month. So basically, as the story goes, In Japan, the most popular manga series are the ones that are published in the weekly anthology magazines. That quick pace means there's always a fresh chapter for fans to devour and discuss, and the intense interest in turn fuels publishers and creators' desire to keep the flow of new material fast and steady. Despite Hunter x Hunter being published in Weekly Shonen Jump, the fans have long known not to expect a new chapter every week. They've been used to this since 2018. That's when the series has been on hiatus. But it's coming back this month. And we talked about, I believe, last week, a week before last, Yoshihiro Togashi has put together a team to help produce this. So they basically, the Shonen Jump team basically just put this out on their Twitter, and it just spread like wildfire. And people are very happy that it's coming back. And as it says in the tweet, it has been decided that Hunter x Hunter, written by Yoshihiro Togashi, will restart serialization of Volume 47 in Weekly Shonen Jump, which goes on sale October 24th. And that's really cool. More level-headed, but no less heartfelt, were those expressing the gratitude and encouragement for Togashi, who recently opened up about the severe health issues he's been suffering from during the hiatus. The artist indicates he's creating 10 new chapters to start with, and there's definitely a chance that the series will be going on break after that, but several commenters said that they're happy to get what they can, drawing at whatever pace Togashi gets to get the rest his body needs. And I think that's really awesome. He has not given up. Thank you, Togashi. And next up, we're going to talk about Urusei Yatsura and how the fans are going old school on it.
Oh, yeah. And tape media is back on their minds.
Yeah, I actually shared this article with a friend of mine. He's like, let me see what he actually had to say about that. Let's see. He goes, unless he had no other way, why? And my response, nostalgia.
Huh. Let's see. The brand new Urusei Yatsura TV series debuted in Japan on Friday, and as a remake of one of the most popular anime of all time, audiences were extremely excited to see hapless Lech Atsuru and his alien princess fiancé Lum once again. However, the anime industry has changed a lot in the roughly 40 years since the original was aired on TV. Whereas fans in 81 could tune in and watch at a reasonable hour, nowadays TV anime runs also almost exclusively in late-night time slots, and the new Urusei Yatsura didn't start airing in Tokyo until 1:45 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
The simple sleep salvaging workaround was to record the episode and watch it later, but just because they used technology to solve a problem doesn't mean that their solution was an entirely modern one. And while people on Twitter have been showing, their old-ass recording devices from way back when.
Which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. And good grief, these are some huge-ass VCRs.
Most of the... No, those are not... Most of those are not VCRs. Those are Betamax machines.
Oh, my God. I never had one of those.
See, Beta was... If I'm not mistaken, Betamax was really popular in Japan.
Still is from the looks of it.
Not really isn't, but people either tracked down these devices or still had them or got them from somewhere.
The new anime series takes place in the same late 70s, early 80s time period as the original manga and TV series, which began in 78 and 81, respectively. The characters' houses have a single landline coded telephone, and as was normal for the Japanese home at the time. The TVs are thick consoles. One of Atsuru's prized possession is a boombox with not one but two cassette decks in it.
Yep. And what's cool is you can buy those tape decks. You can buy those now. Those boom boxes with one or two tape decks. And now it does radio, does cassette tape, and it does Bluetooth as well.
I wonder if the Japanese had a phrase for ghetto blaster back then.
Let's not.
This hardcore historian of video technology not only recorded the episode on beta, but watched it on a TV which, while still newer than the ones within the show, is much older than you'd find about anyone's home today. And we see several tweets of him doing so with the Victor HR 7650, which had to do some last minute repairs. It got up and running to record it. Other fans with a beta, who didn't have a beta recorder, got in the spirit by recording on VHS, or would plan to record the opening theme on cassette as it played from their TV speakers. Good God, man! This is some serious devotion here. I gotta.
I mean, if I would do it too, if I was one of them. I mean, you can't. You can't see it on my stream on my camera, but I have a DVD VCR combo unit sitting up on my shelf over there.
I think I've seen it once or twice when I was there. So, shall we move on to the next one?
1 second here. Let me do this. All right, so we're going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! For a quick second. And I saw this floating around briefly, before the con. It seems that Kazuki Takahashi, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh!, he was trying to save people from drowning when he died. An interview with Stars and Stripes, which is a military magazine, they interviewed U.S. Army Major Robert Bourgeau, and he provided details on the circumstances surrounding Takahashi's death. On the afternoon of July 4th, Bourgeau, who was also a scuba instructor, was at a section of the coastline of Anna Village known to the local expat community as Mermaid's Grotto, where he was scheduled to teach a class to 2 students. And the sea was extraordinarily rough, though, and before they got started, they encountered a Japanese mother calling for help. The woman had come to the coast with a male companion and her 11-year-old daughter to snorkel, and the man and daughter had become caught in a powerful riptide roughly 100 yards out to sea. And one student headed into the water to help while the other student called emergency services. A third person also leapt in the water, Takahashi, who had just so happened to be there at the time. Bourgeau reached the daughter first, but at this point, her mother had re-entered the water and also got caught in the riptide. Bourgeau was able to get them to shore and was able to direct the mother's companion to safely. Sadly, though, Takahashi never made it back, and his body was discovered 3 days later, and his car was later found parked near where the incident took place. Though Bourgeau himself didn't see the Yu-Gi-Oh! Creator enter the water, his students did, and Stars and Stripes report that witnesses' statements also corroborate his attempt to help as well. Bourgeau has since been nominated for a medal for his life-saving actions, but adamantly says Takahashi is deserving of respect and praise well. He's a hero. He died trying to save somebody else. Takahashi's untimely death will always be a source of sadness for fans, but at least they can take solace knowing when it came down to it, the artist was willing to show the sort of selfless courage that any shonen hero would be proud of. And I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's he no thought about it either. He just ran in there and tried to help.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing. Now, what the hell is up with this skull at Universal Studio?
Oh boy. A human skull was found in Universal Studios Japan's bushes. Let's see. Universal Studios Japan has positioned itself with one of the Japan's top Halloween celebration spots. Tokyo Disneyland has plenty of Halloween events too, but there's usually a lot of kid-friendly cuteness mixed in. USJ is content to let zombies take over the park after sundown, and also happy to send guests into a maze full of Resident Evil monsters. Oh, goody. A lot of that probably has to do with Universal's long movie-making history, including films in the horror genre. On Wednesday, though, a human skull was found on the premises of the Osaka theme park. At around 2:30 a.m. in the afternoon, 2:30 in the afternoon, 2:30 p.m., Osaka police received a call to the 110 emergency number from a female USJ employee saying, "I found some things that look like human bones in the shrubbery on our property." Investigators arrived to examine the items, believed them to be a human skull and upper jawbone with attached teeth.
Well, damn.
And they say the police say that the size of the bones is too large for them to have come from a child. The bones appear to be found on the plants alongside an exterior road bordering the northwest corner of the property, not in an attraction-filled part of the park that sees heavy visitor traffic, or which requires an admission ticket to access. A subsequent search of the area turned up what appears to be several other bone fragments scattered about, as well as scraps of cloth, but investigators have yet to come across any personal belongings that could be used to shed light on the identity of the deceased. Good grief.
Stranger shit has happened. And now our last story of the night before we wrap up the show, which is another meanwhile in Japan. A car crashes into Japan's oldest restroom.
Oh boy.
There's not such anything as a good city to crash a car in. But you got to think that Kyoto is especially a bad place to do it. It's been the capital of Japan for more than 1,000 years. There's nowhere in the country with a denser concentration of historically significant buildings, gardens, and artifacts. So if you happen to slam your car into something, it's going to be something important. So what happened on Monday morning is a 30-year-old driver crashed into a building that's registered as important cultural property by the Japanese government. What makes it special? It is the oldest bathroom in Japan. Yeah, the toilets are in question may not have had the fancy heated seats or pulsating jets of butthole cleansing water like a bidet that are in modern Japanese toilets. These are just basically circular holes cut into blocks of stone. That's understandable because this restroom was constructed in the early 15th century as part of Tofukuji Temple, and what's now the Honmachi neighborhood of Kyoto's Higashiyama Ward. You see, while an ascetic lifestyle has long been part of being a monk in Japan, even the most stoic of practitioners need a place to poop. So the temple constructed a restroom called a Tosu next to its meditation hall. Unfortunately, around 9:30 that Monday morning, a 30-year-old man who was turning his car around in the temple's parking area forgot he was still in reverse when he pressed down on the accelerator. So instead of going forward, it went backwards into the Tosu, smashing the wooden door to the building and damaging the interior support pillars. There's a short flight of steps that lead down to the parking area into the entrance into the Tosu, which probably added to the car's speed before it crashed. Wow. The driver was an employee of the Kyoto Heritage Preservation Association making a work-related visit to Tofukuji. So, yeah. So remember, the next time you be rating yourself on a Monday morning about a screw-up that you did at the office, look at it this way. You didn't work for a heritage association crashing your car into a 500-year-old toilet. Or in this case, restroom.
What a shit show.
Oh, that's just turtable. Let's just piss it all away. Thankfully, it's been many, many years since the Tofukuji's Tosu has been an active bathroom, and no one was inside when the accident happened. But with the busy fall foliage tourism season coming up soon for Kyoto, the temple's hoping to have the damage repaired as soon as possible. We wish you the best and great Scott. And now it's time to wrap up the show. And as you all know, we generally go late when we do our con reviews because we're talking about the convention. But we had the time, so we figured we'd give you some news as well. So if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. We do this for the fun of it. So what we like and don't like, we're telling you straight up. So if you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. And when you get a chance, check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you'll find our weekly podcast, anime reviews, convention reports, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplayer interviews, editorials, our weekly podcast, and so much more. Check it all out at animejamsession.com. And while you're out there on your iPod, iPhone, Android device, or Windows mobile phone, or whatever you use for podcasting, don't forget to check out our podcast, especially older episodes. So fire up Google Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, anything. Just do a search for Anime Jam Session. Check out some of our older episodes or the current episodes. We really appreciate that. And what's cool is these apps allow you to leave reviews. So if you can leave us a review, we greatly appreciate that. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages, our YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It's all Anime Jam Session. So follow us on those so you know when we're going live, when articles are going up, when we have new reviews, photos, videos, everything. And down below is our tip jar. There's a link to our stream elements and our Ko-Fi. You can click on those and throw money towards us if you like. You can cheer us on with bits, as done earlier in the show. We appreciate that. Or you can also sub to the page and give out gift subscriptions as well. So now we're going to go around the room for last words. Last words, Ari.
Let's hope I can shake whatever's ailing me pretty soon, because I want to enjoy my vacation week, damn it.
Gotcha. My last words, I still gotta finish unpacking and put stuff in laundry. Then maybe I can relax a little bit. Well, that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Anime Jam Session. Mako-chan will be joining us. Wild Spice will be joining us. It'll be fun, so why don't you join us too? And I'm all out of water. Oh, well. Let's get up on out of here, Ari.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Ranma.
And I'm Ari.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
And say goodnight, Ari.
Good night, Ari.
That is perfect. Awesome. We're getting the heck up on out of here, so see you next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!